my name's John Ritchie. I farm at my top farm up in Ayrshire, and I've been working with John and David here at the Monitor farm to help set up their rotational grazing system. So we've set up a rotational grazing system here. Mainly, the main goals of it is to try and eke out the grazing season so we can graze earlier in the spring and later in the back end. We're looking to utilise more grass, grow more grass, and hopefully increase stocking levels. The challenges this year, especially with rotational grazing, it's new. It takes a little bit of getting your head around what exactly you need to do. There's lots of learning opportunities, as well as mistakes. But John and David are doing a fantastic job and have been very open to giving it a go and facing the challenges as they've went along. So the main benefits of rotational grazing is just being able to grow more grass. In a kind of well-managed system, you could be looking at increasing your production by about 30%. That has its challenges. You've got to be able to manage that at certain times of year, and that's what we're here today, just looking at peak season and how you manage that glut of grass. So at home, I'm lucky enough that we've been doing it for a good few years now, so we've built up a fair bit of experience by making loads of mistakes. So really that's why I'm here, is to try and share with John and David and the wider Monitor Farm group just all the mistakes that can be made. So hopefully if people go home and implement these kind of techniques, that they won't have to go through the same things that we have. Key message today regarding the rotational grazing system is really just be adaptive, be open, trying to realise that no season is the same, and that have that approach. And we're going to just talk a bit about today how we can face those challenges, because every year is different when it comes to grazing grass.
I'm David Andrew. I'm the farmer here at Rinston Farm, South Ayrshire Monitor Farm. I'm 26 in a farming partnership with my dad and mum, John and Alison. We have done it here before, but not as intensely. So we used to just do it with the fields, maybe for the last 2 or 3 years, but this is the first year where we've had electric fencing up and really split the fields and tried to do it a lot more intensely. The first challenge was just getting started with it. The setup itself was fine, but just getting the mobs together after lambing with the young lambs and having the confidence to group. Well, we're working with 220 ewes in the mob, to get those all grouped together to start with was the initial challenge, but it was just try to time it with the growth of the grass as well, so you're not putting too much stress on the ewes to start with. We want to fine tune and get working for this farm. We clipped the ewes just the other day, and I would say the ewes are in good fettle, the lambs are as good as they've ever been. Plus we've managed to take a couple of paddocks out in the last few days for extra silage, so that's always a bonus too.
My name's Eilidh Geddes. I am a postdoctoral research scientist at Moredun Research Institute. So we're currently standing in Moredun's mobile lab on wheels, that was affectionately known as the biobus. So how we collect dung samples is we have a couple of different methods. The first one is you can go up to your animals upon rousing early in the morning and just collect a couple of fresh samples from the ground. Or you can get the dog and gather them into the corner of the field, get them to stand for a couple of minutes, and then go and collect a couple of fresh samples there. The real importance here is actually getting fresh samples as the eggs kind of hatch if they're not fresh. At the Monitor Farm today, we are going to be doing some fecal egg count demos and talking about how we interpret the results to make the most of this on farm. So the egg counts, they quantify the number of parasite eggs per gram of poo, and essentially that kind of roughly translates to the worm burden that's in your animals. And we use different thresholds to say whether you need to treat or these animals are fine, because actually all sheep and all livestock have a level of worms. It's just how much they have as to whether you actually need to give them a treatment or not. So we actually have a new tool to interpret the results from egg counts called FEC Check. It's just a kind of online free tool we can have QR codes that you can go on to, and you put your egg count result in and it'll give you advice on whether you need to treat or not, how well your drugs have worked if you've done a treatment and taken an egg count afterwards as well, and it has lots of general advice about egg counts as well. Our key message today is test, don't guess. Always encourage doing egg counts before giving any sort of treatment.
Yeah, hi, my name's Sarah and I work at Moredun in the comms department. I'm a knowledge exchange and communications officer. So Moredun is a research institute that was founded in 1920 by farmers for farmers, and we do research into infectious diseases of livestock and develop vaccines, treatments and control strategies. Well, I think this summer in terms of worms, we've got the Barber's pole worm, Haemonchus contortus, is becoming an increasing threat in the north of Scotland as climate change is occurring. It's warmer, milder, and this traditionally tropical parasite is now moving into cooler climates. Well, I think today what we'd like to say to farmers is test, don't guess. So that means do your fecal egg counts, make sure you know what you're treating for, treating at the right time with the appropriate anthelmintic. For more information, you can head to our website, which is www.moredun.org.